This guy makes $250,000 a year teaching people how to become successful actors. His name is Kurt Yu, and he's not your typical Hollywood star. In fact, he never even planned on acting.
I didn't grow up dreaming of becoming an actor. I didn't do school plays or anything like that. I was definitely more of the math and science kid growing up.
Today, Kurt is on a hit ABC show, and he's also making a steady six-figure income by helping aspiring actors. But how he got here is wildly unconventional. Kurt did this while living in Ohio, and later in life than most people would think is possible. He didn't land a breakout role, and he didn't quit his day job. In this video, Kurt reveals the simple strategies that allowed him to make his passion profitable, and how he made more progress in 1 year than most people make in 10. Kurt's childhood had nothing to do with acting. While most future actors do school plays or musical theater, Kurt had zero interest in performing.
Acting in Ohio was definitely, it was interesting looking back on it now, knowing what I know now. Because I wasn't a theater kid growing up, because I wasn't really in tune with what, the film and television industry was, I didn't really know any different.
In fact, he chose one of the safest career paths. He went to college where he earned a degree in software engineering. After graduation, he spent nearly a decade writing code.
I worked in the corporate world as a software developer for almost a decade.
But underneath all the lines of code, Kurt wanted something else. There was something about his corporate life that wasn't fulfilling him. Sure, it was stable and he was making a decent living, but Kurt began searching for something to fill that weird hole in his life. He didn't know what he was looking for, so in his spare time, he tried new hobbies to spice up life outside work. He tried jujitsu, he did Toastmasters, and one day he tried acting classes.
And I took one class, I really liked it, and I kept taking the class, again, just for the fun of it, not really having a career change in mind.
But that simple decision to try something new changed everything. For 8 years, Kurt balanced his corporate life with acting, and an idea began to worm its way into Kurt's mind. What if he tried to pursue acting seriously?
One of my classmates recommended me to her agent, and this was all in Cleveland, Ohio, by the way. And so not really known for being an acting mecca or anything like that. So I just started doing little things here and there as an actor, local commercials and things like that.
Kurt knew that he needed a foolproof plan to break into acting, and the first step he needed to take was one outside of his comfort zone.
It wasn't until 8 years after taking that acting class and continuously taking that acting class and still working full-time as a software developer that I ended up moving down to Atlanta, where I currently am, and started pursuing a career in the film and television industry.
Why Atlanta? Because tax incentives and new productions turned the Southeast into a growing film hub. While Cleveland, Ohio gave him a start, he knew Atlanta would open bigger doors. He admits that he didn't know if it would work. He was used to a safe, stable paycheck. Acting, on the other hand, can be a little unpredictable. But focusing on auditions and using the skills he learned in his spare time, he started landing real roles. He also discovered something that almost every single budding actor needs to learn. You don't have to be in Los Angeles to act.
My thought was that everything that we saw on TV was filmed in Hollywood. Like anything that you see on TV must be filmed in Hollywood, because why would they shoot something in Ohio?
Small or mid-sized markets have commercials, training videos, and local projects that can help you grow your acting career. Instead of just buying a ticket for the next bus to LA, it would be better to build up your skills and get some experience by working with smaller productions.
Once you start to learn about the business side of it, you're like, oh, it makes sense that a local car dealership commercial would film locally and not go all the way out to California to do it. So that's where I learned that there are opportunities for actors in smaller markets.
At this point, Kurt's acting career was finally getting a head start. But there was one aspect of acting that Kurt never thought he'd have to deal with: And it's what makes or breaks your career as an actor: marketing. Acting isn't just about memorizing lines and standing in front of a camera. There's a massive, complicated business side: headshots, agents, casting websites, and networking. The list goes on. Many actors overlook these details. They usually just find an agent and hope they can score a callback from an audition.
Yeah, so a lot of actors focus on learning the craft of acting, which is really important. And that is what most acting schools stress as well. But what often happens is that they learn the craft and then they go and get into the quote unquote real world, right? And they realize that it's a lot more about the business.
And it was for this reason that Kurt brought a business mindset to the acting world.
Yes, you have to be skilled and you have to be a good actor, but you also have to know how to market yourself.
That realization gave him an edge. Over time, people asked him for advice. Could he show them how to handle resumes? Could he walk them through auditions? Kurt started to see the demand. He began a YouTube channel called Small Market Actor, hoping to help others navigate non-Hollywood gigs. He posted free videos about marketing yourself, finding local jobs, and building relationships with casting directors. Slowly, he began to bring in hundreds and then thousands of views. His 8 years of acting experience gave him that edge. It allowed him to offer his viewers actionable advice that they could begin to implement in their acting careers. As more people watched, he built an email list.
And you hear a lot of online creators talking about building your email list and how that is really the backbone of any online business. And I really took it to heart in the beginning, even though I knew I had nothing to sell yet, but I started building the email list right from the beginning.
Eventually, that list grew big enough to launch an official brand, Acting Career Center. Then came 2020. Productions halted. People were stuck at home scrolling the internet for new skills or ways to change their lives. And acting was a popular dream that constantly came into the minds of people stuck in their bedrooms.
One of those people, like many others, were just sitting at home, twirling our thumbs, not knowing what to do. And I thought, well, I have this YouTube channel.
Kurt was also at home, and with filming paused, he went all in on content. He created more YouTube videos each week.
I was putting out maybe 2, sometimes 3 videos a week during that time. And I think it was sort of a perfect storm, at least for me and my channel.
That spike gave him way more exposure than he ever expected.
I think what's really great about YouTube is that it has great discoverability. No matter where you are, whether you're a brand new creator with 0 subscribers, you're making your first video, just the fact that you're making a video on a particular topic gets you the opportunity to get in front of people's eyes.
His subscriber count rose dramatically. More people joined his email list and asked about learning from him. But what drew so many people to his content? Well, Kurt just follows a simple principle.
One of the things that I do, which a lot of creators recommend, is that they say to ask questions in the videos. Instead of just saying, hey, leave me a comment down below, they'll ask a really pertinent question that is specific to that video, where the person who's watching is, if they're already engaged in the video, they're thinking about the question that you just asked, and it gets them kind of excited, putting some more thought into creating the video, and then also thinking about the engagement while creating the video. I think certainly helps.
Kurt had free videos and an active following. But aside from the AdSense he was making from YouTube, he hadn't really monetized his audience. There were many ways Kurt could have started making money, but he decided to settle on a way that would allow him to scale his time effectively and also deliver as much value as possible while keeping a strong connection with his audience. So he decided to host live workshops online. It was inexpensive, since all he needed to do was hop on a Zoom call. That way, if it didn't work, he wouldn't have to suffer the wasted costs of creating a product. And that's when things really took off. Kurt had a simple funnel. He created videos, and each video mentioned a free download. an audition cheat sheet. Viewers that wanted a copy would have to join his email list.
I monetized my YouTube channel, and that was certainly bringing in some income, but I hadn't really sold a product yet. And so my initial thought was, well, I have all these new potential customers. They're on my email list. They're already getting value from me. What if I did an inexpensive Zoom workshop and threw it out there and just to see how it goes?
Kurt doesn't like to overcomplicate anything. Once on his list, subscribers receive more acting tips. After a while, Kurt offers them a paid Zoom workshop. It was something like, hey, you want extra help beyond the YouTube videos? Join this one-night class. To his surprise, over 100 people signed up for that very first workshop.
When I did my first Zoom workshop, I think I had over 100 people sign up for it, and it made like $8,000 in it.
Kurt also swears by email marketing. Social platforms can change overnight, but email is stable. You own an email list. You just rent social followers. Building that list from day one, even before he had something to sell, allowed him to launch quickly when he finally sold workshops. That blew his mind. He had never sold anything before, and suddenly he realized the potential. That's when he understood that people truly need business advice for acting. If a single workshop could generate that much in revenue, there was so much room to scale. Kurt decided to turn these workshops into a membership.
I could offer a different workshop and there would be people that would sign up for it. But then I figured, well, instead of having to sell every single month, well, what if I just offered a membership?
That way, he wouldn't have to constantly market new classes, and he would gain reoccurring monthly revenue. For a simple monthly or yearly price, his customers would get ongoing lessons, Q&As, and even networking with each other. This also gave Kurt more stability. Acting by itself can have its ups and downs. One month you book a commercial, the next month you're unemployed. A membership would be a predictable source of monthly recurring income. He launched his membership in phases. First, he invited founding members who had already attended multiple workshops. They joined for a special discounted rate.
Earlier on, again, similar to what many people recommend, is launch to your audience before it's even done, so that you have some people that can help you shape what that community is going to be.
In the community, he closely listened to feedback.
I really value those people because they helped shape what the community was. When they joined, there was a lot of engagement, telling us what they would like to see in the community, what guest speakers they would like to hear from, what other types of features that the community could potentially offer.
And by listening, Kurt improved the community and kept people paying.
And then after that, I marketed to a second group, I think 3 or 6 months later, to a second group, which were the people that had taken one workshop of mine, but not multiple. And they got an additional discounted rate, not at the same rate as the founding members, but still a discounted rate. And then after another 3 or 6 months or something, I launched it to my full email list, and that was at the price that it's at now. And now it's just kind of an ongoing. It is an evergreen community.
For the longest time, Kurt was sure that nothing could beat the income he was making as a software developer. After all, his salary was over 6 figures. He assumed that acting would never match that. But the combination of acting jobs, YouTube ad revenue, workshops, and membership fees changed everything.
And then after that, I started, in that time span, there was a slow, gradual process of me finding ways to help up-and-coming actors that were in my position, years ago, that are trying to get into the industry. And I try to just share the things that I've learned along the way. I started with a YouTube channel, and I slowly grew that. And then I built an email list. I started teaching some online Zoom workshops, and eventually built an online community. And the business is still growing to this day. I'm starting to roll out some courses and things like that. But all of that has taken over the course of I would say the past 15 years or so.
The extra money also helped him as an actor. If a job fell through or a show got canceled, he wouldn't panic about paying the bills. Having that financial buffer let him focus on performance instead of being caught in a cycle of feast or famine.
Even what is considered a safe job on an ongoing series, every year there's still the possibility that the series gets canceled and you're kind of back to square one.
So if you're an actor or any type of creative who's hoping to make a career out of what you love, you need to have a safety net. And it just so happens that Kurt's safety net is teaching others about what he is most knowledgeable about: acting. Now, how do you begin to grow your own safety net? How can you start your own business from scratch? Kurt believes in small steps. It's the only way to start, and he calls this the atomic habits approach.
If anybody's holding back from getting started, I would say to take those baby steps, whatever that first incremental step that you can do. Whether it's, for example, if it's YouTube, record your first video. You don't even have to put it up there. Just get in front of the camera and record your first video and get used to it.
He also warns against overcomplicating your funnel. He's tried new strategies, but always come back to the basics: consistent free content, a single lead magnet, a simple email list, and a paid membership. He also focuses on a clear customer avatar. This is the person you envision will buy your product. For Kurt, he pictures a brand new actor, someone who knows nothing but is eager to learn. He creates videos and workshops for that exact type of person. It keeps him from chasing trends or diluting his message. By staying specific and only appealing to one type of person, he actually grows faster. So what's Kurt's biggest piece of advice for anyone that wants to start their own business?
I would say my biggest advice to people just starting out is follow what has worked over time. That's what I've done. I have kind of stuck to the basics. A lot of it is similar to when people talk about investing, right? Instead of like looking at the thing that's going to make you a millionaire tomorrow, look at the things that have been proven over a longer period of time, something that has, decades of a track record. And I feel like the basics of what has worked for me is finding a way to grow an audience, however that works for anybody else. For me, it was YouTube.
Kurt's story proves that you can follow your passion and still be in the top 10% of earners if you treat it like an actual business. If you want to build and monetize your own community and finally see some real income from your creative passion, then take a page out of Kurt's playbook. Start with an email list and sell digital products and memberships using Kajabi. You might just turn your favorite hobby into the thing that sets you free. I'll see you in the next one.